Welcome to The Deep Dive, the show where we sift through stacks of sources to pull out the absolute must-know insights and, honestly, some really surprising facts for you.
That's right.
Today, we're diving deep into the world of a true legend, an equine icon, Special Week. We've got a great collection here: race reports, biographical stuff, historical context, really everything we need to understand this incredible Japanese thoroughbred.
And our mission today really is to get to grips with how Special Week, who had this really tough start in life, didn't just climb to the top of the racing world and capture everyone's attention, but then also managed to build this huge legacy as a sire, influencing generations of champions that followed.
It's quite a story. We're going to uncover his really dramatic Japanese Derby win, those intense rivalries, how he took on the world's best.
Yeah, the Japan Cup.
Exactly. And his massive influence as a sire later on. It's quite a journey ahead.
Definitely.
Okay, let's kick things off right at the start. Special Week. Striking-looking horse, brown, distinctive white blaze down his face.
Yep. Stood pretty tall, too. 16.1 3/4 hands high.
Which is, for context, about 65 inches, maybe 1.67 meters at the shoulder. A really powerful build.
But his beginning, as you hinted, was anything but typical for a champion.
Not at all. And, what's really fascinating right off the bat is just how dominant his father's line was.
Oh, yes.
His sire was Sunday Silence, legendary, won the Kentucky Derby in '89.
Huge name.
And then became Japan's champion sire for, get this, 13 years straight.
13. That's incredible consistency.
It's staggering. And Sunday Silence didn't just produce Special Week. We're talking Deep Impact, Stay Gold, Heart's Cry, Zeno Rob Roy, Neo Universe. Just a dynasty.
Wow. A powerhouse family tree, no kidding.
Exactly. And then there's the dam side, his mother, Campaign Girl.
Okay.
Now, she was an unraced daughter of Maruzinski, but, crucially, she was a great-granddaughter of Shirioki.
Shirioki, why is that name significant?
Well, Shirioki was a leading Japanese brood mare, a mare kept specifically for breeding, and she established this incredibly influential maternal line. Ah, okay.
Her descendants, you've probably heard of some: Vodka, Kodama, Shinsubame, Maidekina Fukukataru, Sister Tosho. A really impressive list.
So, top bloodlines on both sides. But you mentioned a tough start.
Yeah, here's the really pregnant part. Campaign Girl died shortly after foaling Special Week.
Oh, wow. Right after he was born.
Pretty much. Foaling just means giving birth for horses. So this tiny colt, he had to be hand-fed by the stable staff.
Hand-fed, that must have been incredibly difficult.
It absolutely makes you think about the resilience, both the horses and the people caring for him, nurturing a future champion, literally from day one under those circumstances.
And who are the key people involved then?
Well, you had the owner, Hiroyoshi Yasuda, the trainer, Toshiaki Shirai, and of course his main jockey, the very famous Yutaka Take.
Right, Yutaka Take. So this hand-fed foal. It's amazing to think he becomes a superstar. How did he actually start on the track? What were those first signs?
Well, his debut came in 1997. She was a 2-year-old, ran just once that year.
Okay.
It was a maiden race, for horses who haven't won yet, over 1,600 meters at Hanshin Racecourse, November 19th.
And how did he do?
He won, beat 13 others, including a horse called Legacy Hunter. So, yeah, the promise was definitely there right from the beginning.
Okay, so a winning debut. Then 1998, his 3-year-old season. This is usually where things get serious.
Absolutely. This is where he really started to step up and face proper tests. He actually started with a second place in the Shiram show.
Right.
But then quickly got his first major win, the Grade 3 Kisaragi show, over 1,800 meters at Kyoto.
Grade 3, so moving up the ranks.
Exactly. And then he won a really important trial race, the Grade 2 Hochi Hayaioi show at Nakayama. That was over 2,000 meters.
And who was he up against there?
That's where he first properly clashed with Seon Sky and King Halo. Beat them both. So that set the stage.
Okay, so beating future rivals already. Then the first big one, Grade 1.
Yes, the Satsuki show, the Japanese 2,000 Giddies, essentially. His first Grade 1 test. He finished third, behind Seon Sky and King Halo. So, those rivalries were immediately heating up. It wasn't going to be easy.
Right, intense from the get-go. But then came the race that really put him on the map, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The pivotal moment. The Tokyo Yushin, the Japanese Derby, Grade 1, 2,400 meters at Tokyo Racecourse.
And this was different.
Completely.
Yeah.
He didn't just win, he demolished them. Won by 5 lengths over Bold Emperor. Seon Sky was back in fourth.
5 lengths in the Derby. That's a huge statement.
It really is. That kind of margin is rare, and it absolutely cemented him as a top horse. No question after that.
So, Derby winner, what happened next in the autumn?
He prepped with a win in the Grade 2 Kyoto Shimbunhai, beating King Halo again.
Okay.
But then in the Grade 1 Kikuka show, that's the Japanese St. Leger, over 3,000 meters at Kyoto, he came second.
Dude.
Seiyan Sky. And Seiyan Sky didn't just win. He smashed the course record. 3 points here, they're 3.2.
Wow. So that rivalry was just pushing them both to incredible performances.
Definitely. Back and forth, pushing each other to the limit.
And then came his first taste of the Japan Cup, right? Still as a 3-year-old.
Yes, the 98 Japan Cup. This was a really big deal. His first time against older horses and international ones, too.
That must have been a huge step up.
It was. Held at Tokyo. And interestingly, Yutataka Take couldn't ride him.
Why not?
He was serving a suspension from another race. So, Fuki Okabe got the ride.
Okay. And how did Special Week handle it? He was the favorite, wasn't he?
Yeah, 2.3 to 1 favorite in a field of 15. Had horses from Germany, Canada, the U.S., Britain.
Strong field.
Very strong. He finished third, behind El Condor Pasa, who was brilliant, and Air Groove.
Third is still pretty good against that level of competition, especially first time out.
Absolutely. You know, connecting this to the bigger picture, that first Japan Cup, even though it wasn't a win, it was such a crucial learning curve. Yeah. Showed him what it took at that absolute elite global level.
Okay, that makes sense. A learning experience. Which brings us to 1999, his 4-year-old season. And this was something else.
Oh, yeah. This is where he really cemented his place in history.
Right.
Just became an absolute legend.
How did it start?
He just built this incredible momentum. Started the year with 2 Grade 2 wins. Mm-hmm. The American Jockey Club Stakes at Nakayama, and then the Hanshin Daishoten. Just dominant wins.
Setting the tone. And then the tennis show.
Yes, the tennis show double. A massive deal in Japan. First, the spring edition.
The tennis show spring is a real stamina test.
Exactly. Grueling 3,000 meters at Hanshin. He won it, got his second Grade 1 victory. He beat Majiro Bright by half a length. Seiyan Sky was in that race, too.
Okay, another Grade 1. Then the Tucker Azuka Kinnan, another huge race.
It is. Grade 1 again. And this time, he faced a new, really formidable rival, Grass Wonder.
Grass Wonder, another big name.
Yep. Special Week finished second, beaten by Grass Wonder. But, and this is significant, he was 7 lengths clear of the rest of the field. Just those two were in a different league.
So Grass Wonder emerges as a major threat.
A huge threat. But then Special Week targeted the autumn tennis show.
And the goal there was?
To do the double. Win both the spring and autumn tennis show in the same year. Only one horse had ever done it before.
Because there's such different tests, right? Spring is stamina, autumn is?
Autumn is 2,000 meters at Tokyo. Speed, acceleration, tactical pace. It demands incredible versatility.
And did he do it?
He did. He won the tennis show, autumn. But it was incredibly close, won by just a neck from Stay Gold.
Wow.
And the finish was unbelievably tight. You had Air Jihad, Stinger, Seiyan Sky, and Brasser Moy all right there. He also set a new race record, 1.58.0.
Record time, neck finish, completing the double. Incredible stuff. You could just feel the tension watching that, I bet.
Absolutely nail-biting. So he'd proven his dominance domestically against different distances, different rivals.
Which leads us back to the international stage, the Japan Cup again.
Exactly, the 1999 Japan Cup. And this raises the question, how did he finally conquer that international stage after the learning experience the year before?
What was different this time?
Well, it wasn't just about raw power, though he had plenty. It seemed like there was this shift in race management, maybe maturity, learning to conserve energy, use that devastating turn of foot at just the right moment against world-class jockeys playing tactical games.
Makes sense. And the setting, was it a big occasion?
Huge. November 28th, massive crowd. They reported 155,000 people there. Electric atmosphere.
And the competition, was it as strong as 98?
Arguably even stronger.
Yeah.
You had Monchou, who just won the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. He was the favorite.
Wow, the Arc winner.
Yeah. Then there was Tiger Hill from Germany, High Rise, who'd won the Epsom Derby, Borgia, Fruits of Love, and Indigenous, the Hong Kong Horse of the Year. Truly the best of the best from around the globe.
Seriously, elite field. So how did the race unfold? Yutataka Take back on board this time.
Yes, Take was riding. And they played it coolly. Restrained Special Week in the early stages, maybe 6th place turning for home. Held him.
Patient Red.
Very patient. Then, approaching the final 200 meters, Take asked him to go, and Special Week just exploded. Took the lead and won decisively.
By how much?
1.5 lengths from Indigenous, with High Rise just a nose back in third. Monjou finished 4th. It was a dominant, clear victory against that field, left no doubt.
Wow. Conquering the world's best on home turf. That must have been huge for Japanese racing.
Immense. And you could feel the emotion from Yutaka Take. It was his first Japan Cup win.
What did he say?
He said, "I'm very pleased because I could achieve one of my dreams. I am proud to be Japanese."
Oh, that's powerful. Goosebumps almost. It's more than just a race win at that point.
Exactly. It's fulfilling a dream, national pride.
Yeah.
You can just feel the weight of that moment, can't you?
Absolutely. It becomes a cultural touchstone. So did he race again after that incredible high?
Just once more. His farewell race was the Arima Kinin at Nakayama, end-of-year Grand Prix.
And another clash with?
Grass Wonder, their second big encounter. And it was maybe even more dramatic than the Tenor Show finish.
How so?
An unbelievable four-way photo finish. Tiny margins. Special Week was just beaten by a nose by Grass Wonder.
A nose after everything.
A nose. Team Opera O and Tsunomaru Tsuyoshi were right there too, barely separated. What a way to bow out.
Incredible drama right to the very end. Did he get recognition for that amazing season?
Oh, yes. He received a special award at the JRA Awards for 1999, acknowledging just how outstanding that 4-year-old campaign was.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
So that wraps up his racing career. What about his legacy beyond the track? How did things translate into his stud career?
Well, he retired from racing, obviously. Went to stand at the famous Shadai Stallion Station in Hokkaido. Later moved to Lexstud.
And he lived a long life after racing.
Reasonably long, yes. Sadly, he passed away in April 2018. Had a fall in his paddock and sustained injuries.
That's a shame. But before that, how successful was he as a sire? Did he pass on that greatness?
He really did. He had a highly successful breeding career. Passed on those incredible genetics.
Any standouts among his offspring?
Definitely. His most successful was probably the mare, Buena Vista.
Buena Vista, another huge name.
Absolutely. She became Japanese Horse of the Year, won 6 Grade 1 races, including the Tenno Show and the Japan Cup. Talk about following in Dad's footsteps.
Wow, winning the same huge races. That's incredible. Anyone else notable?
Yes, quite a few. There was Roman Legend, won the Tokyo Daishoten. Cesario, she was brilliant. Won the Yushin Himba, our Oaks, but also went to the U.S. and won the American Oaks.
Taking on international competition herself.
Exactly. And Toho Jackal, who won the Kikuku Show, the race special week, finished second in. So yeah, he truly became a cornerstone sire.
It really drills down to that deeper insight, doesn't it? How the genetic legacy of a champion like him continues shaping the sport.
It really does. Long after his own racing days were over, his influence carries on through his sons and daughters, and their offspring too. That bloodline keeps going.
What an incredible arc from that vulnerable, hand-fed foal with the amazing pedigree, rising up, becoming a multi-grade 1 winner, battling those rivalries, conquering the Japan Cup, and then becoming this hugely influential sire.
It really is a story of just consistent excellence, isn't it? And resilience, especially given that start. And yeah, his influence on thoroughbred racing, both on the track and in the breeding shed, it's just undeniable, profound, really.
So thinking about everything, those dramatic wins, the Tenno Show double, the Japan Cup triumph, but also his success passing on his genes, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? For a horse like Special Week, what do you think is the greater legacy? The spectacular racing career itself, or that ability to pass the greatness on to shape future generations?